I felt good and I felt like I moved forward, but I think sometimes I might be like psyching myself out. So it's yeah, it felt really good. And it's still there where I felt like I went forward, but it's like I have to remind myself that I went in that direction.
Yeah, yeah, good though, because keep, the same energy that you had from our last meeting, because what we're looking at, what everybody is looking at and see on a screen is the result from the contract that we previously covered in our last live. So because of that contract, you got a whole new agreement right here, which we knew we was gonna get anyway, because we looked at the agreement last time and they spoke about this credit card agreement and then this agreement, which will be a part of another type of disclosure with, that will go along with the agreement that we read last time. So keep in mind, we even gonna start off there, because in school I made some posts that I just engaged on, and then some posts that I didn't engage on, for the purpose of trying to keep you in the same space that we was in the last time that we met, so that you begin to keep moving forward to fully understand why you receiving this right here from that contract now that you have this. So stay there, but we're gonna keep moving forward. Of course, it's just the first page, so this is where I'm at. But as we comparing this to the agreement, I'm literally gonna go to the clause that's in the agreement that's gonna be on this product, so that you understand that it's related to each other. And without fully understanding that agreement that we looked at last time, there's not gonna be much you can do with this. AB, how you feeling? What's up? Hey. And y'all,
Good,
this is
good.
not
I'm
a
ready.
class. This is not a class. This is open floor. Y'all been talking in school and participating, and we're looking at stuff. So now is the time, for everybody to speak and chime in. So it's not a class. Amy, what you ready for?
I'm ready just to hear you talk and the gems I know that you're gonna drop. But I really feel like
You've been dropping the gems lately.
yeah, I feel like I really understood it once we got to the end. Pretty much of the actual agreement that we was reading. So, uh,
Keep
our
reading it. Keep reading it, because after this live, we're gonna get into another agreement. But in school, we didn't finish the agreement, so keep reading the agreement even after this. Go back to that agreement where we stopped at in school and keep reading. There's only a little bit left.
yeah, definitely. But I get it. I get it.
Good, good. Anybody else got something to say? How y'all feeling? I can't see y'all names because I'm actually looking at the screen. So um, it's open for. Okay, so what do we have right now? Anybody? Tell me. What are we looking at? Why do I got this?
Statement of account.
Why do I got it? Where did it come from?
It came from the servicer slash seller.
It came from the agreement that we've been reading.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Letter of credit.
Okay, why you want to call it that? You don't know?
No, not specifically.
Do anybody remember the agreement that we covered last time that we've been covering in school? And the agreement that we popped up on the screen in the last live. Do anybody remember that?
Yes.
So do anybody remember them saying that the agreement that you had with us, or the agreement with us, is that you'll be dealing with that credit card agreement that we were reviewing in school and have been reviewing, as well as an agreement, which is what this is right here, and a disclosure for it. Do y'all remember seeing that?
Yes, it's right in the beginning.
So because of that, you got this. It don't say statement of account on here, but she knows a statement of account. It don't say letter of credit, but he know that eventually it could be down the line for somebody. Are they being present here with what we have to connect that last agreement? Kat,
No.
that's what you be talking about, you be doing?
Yes. Because before you said agreement, the word agreement came into my mind. But then it's like I was second guessing myself, like, nah, maybe that's not. But that did come into my mind just before you said it, as you started explaining. And I'm thinking agreement. Like this is basically the agreement. What I read about, this is the physical manifestation of what I read.
So just always connected to what we already looked at. We are literally just continuing on from there. And in that, they immediately let you know that you are going to begin this agreement. This agreement conspicuously. Remember, they had disclosure in that. So this is what we receive, like you mentioned, from what they already told us so far in agreement. So that means y'all will have to remember everything that we talked about up until the point that we received this. Plus, when we got back into school, each and everything we was posting so that you can understand this. We understand that we received this from that credit card agreement that we were reading. So this is why we have this. Right on the back of it has a clause from that exact same agreement so that you understand that it's connected. And this is the very last thing that we left off on in school that I didn't comment on because I knew that it would be on the back of this bill. AB.
Yep.
You had a lot to say about this part. So I didn't comment back. I didn't, say anything under there, but for everybody who commented on it, I didn't say anything back because it is here and it is connecting it. So here we are with this other agreement that we are connecting in time to the credit card agreement that we were covering before we even looked at the product. Reading that agreement, we knew that we were looking forward to something like this because of that agreement. This same billing rights summary is one of the inserts that I posted in school that we are getting directly from the agreement. So keep reading that agreement. Have y'all ever looked at the back of your bill and saw this? Do y'all understand and see the connection to this document in the credit card agreement that we were reading before we looked at this document?
I definitely see that on all the bills now. Oh, you pointed it out.
So it's just connecting you to, an agreement. See why it is that you have it and see what it is that they're talking about. So this is where I'm going to pick up today because I didn't get a chance to give my opinion about this section from the actual agreement. The only difference in the Bill of Rights summary, if you think it was a mistake on the statement, and this actual agreement right here, that is a part of another disclosure, is that it has an address included. Where they told us in the credit card agreement that it should go to. Do y'all remember them telling us that it should go to this address?
Yes.
So the only difference is that in this agreement, that address is actually put here. If you believe it is a mistake, it will go to where it should go. It's not saying that you should put it, but you know that it's going to go where it should actually go. This is for them to contact them if you think or find that it's a mistake in the statement that Katie said. The statement that they made, the disclosure that they gave, the very important information. We're going to view that statement after I give my opinion on, this part, what I see here on this part, so that we can switch our mindset to actually now look at this statement, your statement, whatever statement it is that you get. Somebody mentioned that they see it on the back of all of their statements now. So after we get finished and I give my opinion on this, AB and anybody else who gave their opinion about it on Skool, if y'all have something to add, then y'all can go ahead and add it, to help everybody out. And then after that, we're going to take a look at the statement. And we're going to begin to read that statement live so that we can take the information that we kept going forward reading from the credit card agreement to see how it is matching this product right here, and how Navy Federal can have this, what you have, serviced in another way. So billing rights summary, when it comes to rights. More than one person writes when it comes to dealing with the bill and things being billed. They have ing, so billing. All of the different ways that another person can deal with the document should be a part of a summary. If you think that something is missing from that statement, or you find that it is a mistake, then you have or may have some sort of error. So they're letting you know that you will have or may have some sort of error on your statement. And conspicuously is not a question about it. You will have a mistake on your statement. Do y'all understand? Do y'all got any questions? Do y'all see them telling you that and hoping that whoever has this card, whoever it is billed to, which we'll look at the front and they'll tell us who it's billed to, that they don't know their rights regarding it. So it would take for you to actually examine it and look at it. Do y'all understand? Any questions? Do y'all have anything to add on to that? They let you know that you can also contact them electronically if you think it is a mistake on your statement. If it's a mistake on your statement, you can contact them electronically, and electronically they'll do a couple of other things or make some amendments to the statements or to the letter, if you allow for them to utilize the information that you have, the following information, all of the information that is above, and your account information, any dollar amounts, if you describe a problem, or from the description that was already given to you. The description that they gave to you, the statement that we're going to be looking at here. This description, all of that information there is already of a problem. They have a problem with something. So they're letting you know on the back of the bill that there are some rights that you may have, and there's some rights that they may have that they can, act or take on if you suspect that there's some error, and they suspect there's some error. It's going to be in the dollar amount. So on here, because of that problem, it's going to be conspicuous that there is no dollar amount enclosed. It's a problem. If it wasn't a problem, then that amount will be enclosed. There's some account information missing. In the agreement, they let us know that there was some very important information that needed to go along with the cost and the fees that we're going to see listed out here. Do y'all got any questions? Any thoughts? If it's an error on your bill, you need to describe to them what's wrong with the account and why you believe something is wrong with the account. And if they made a mistake with your information, then they'll go ahead and correct the mistake or whatever error appeared to be on your statement, like that amount missing. They have to do that within 60 days. Y'all got any questions?
I wanted to ask, how can we contact Navy Federal electronically? And I'm not referring to Navy Federal Credit Union. I'm referring to Navy Federal at the federal level.
They said .org. And on your document, like in your app, like your Navy Federal app, there's internal messaging and external messaging there. You can contact them there, or you can call them. There go some numbers right here for Navy Federal. So you don't have to do it online if you don't want, but you got options if you just want to communicate with them. But this is what they have to say about that. If you pick up the phone and you call them, you may lose some of your rights. That means that you may pick up the phone and call them about something that's not pertaining to the rights that they have when it comes to information about the bill. So they warn you here about that, whether you do it in writing or electronically. It's always dealing with the account and any potential errors with it. So you can do it online or you can call.
Thank you.
They are not required to investigate any potential errors, because if you're not calling them speaking about this account and the other very important information that is tied to the account, you will lose some of your rights and you might have to pay that amount in question because you are not describing a problem that they can relate to. If you do find error and they find error, they're going to investigate. And if they believe it's error, then they'll do what they have to do. If they don't believe that it's error, then they're going to write you and let you know that they don't believe that there's any type of error. They're giving you those two type of options because you're going to find on the front of this bill that you have rights to insert this amount based on offers, which is what we're going to get into today, which is something that may or may not be appropriate or have potential once they investigate. So they will investigate whether or not it has been an error, whether you add that amount and give that dollar amount, or whether they should have given it and somebody else didn't give it because they may have had a problem or issue with something. They couldn't electronically do what they had to do, or they maybe couldn't write. While we investigate whether or not there has been an error, the following are true. We cannot try to collect the amount in question or report you as delinquent on that amount. So while they're in the investigation for or during whatever period, they're not going to report you as delinquent. They're actually going to check into what it is that you're talking about. And if the amount can be collected, they'll collect it. If they can't, then they will not. The charge is something that is in question. So if you're not calling them speaking about the account and different charge information, then you're not speaking to them about something that they believe. So the charge in question may remain on your statement, and we may continue to charge you interest on that amount. So whatever amount that is on your statement right now, they're going to continue to charge interest to that amount. So whatever day you received it, whatever day they shipped it, the very next day after, something else was added to it. If we determine that we made a mistake because of that, you will not have to pay the amount in question or any interest or fees that's related to that amount because they made the mistake or they found the mistake. And the mistake that they found would allow for them to add interest, fees, and anything else that's related to the amount that's stated on your account. And then they'll go ahead and put the dollar amount. They'll give a description of it. They'll use your account to do that. While you do not have to pay the amount in question. You are responsible for the remainder of your balance. So regardless, you are responsible to foreseeing too that these fees and interest are charged. And when we went back to read the agreement, the very first thing we stepped back into was different APR charges. And that's the very first thing that they speak about on this side after we read the statement. They talk about those APRs, but they talked about promotional APRs and different APRs, variable APRs. Do y'all remember seeing that in the agreement?
Yes.
Charges. They made a mistake with those charges. That's what they're interested in. They don't care about anything else. We can apply any unpaid amount against your credit limit. We also, that was the very next thing that we spoke about after they gave us different transaction categories. They started to talk to us about the different, the credit limit and the amount that we owe, the maximum amount. Do y'all remember seeing that?
Yes.
That credit limit that they were talking about there, your credit limit that they were talking about in that section, is something that they will apply to any amount that was unpaid to the balance that you would see on this statement. And that will be the maximum amount that you owe to Navy Federal. So you receive this product that belongs to Navy Federal. So if you have it, cool, you may be related to it because of something, but it's not yours. And we know that from reviewing the agreement and seeing what they said that they would do with other persons when it comes to different APRs, different charges. Your rights if you are dissatisfied with your credit card purchases. Conspicuously, there is something that isn't satisfied with that document or that letter that you took and the balance that you see. So you should feel like there is a mistake there. And by now you should know the mistake is the charge. If it's a charge in question that has allowed for the amount and description of it not to be given in that document. So you should feel like it's a problem or a mistake. If you are dissatisfied with the goods, they said the goods. So they are describing this to them. This to a merchant. It's a good. Anytime you deal with an agreement, you are signing an agreement for goods and services. So they're letting you know immediately that and describing for you that what you will have in your possession is a good. That good is something that could be utilized with another person and or serviced by whomever you got your plastic credit card from. When you receive that good, you can try in good faith to correct any problems with the merchant. So Navy Federal can't correct no problems for you, but because you got that credit card, you can get that good service by them. They will deal with somebody else like a merchant in good faith, and they'll correct the problem. They'll help set that amount. You don't have to do that. But you may have the right not to pay the remaining amount due on your purchase because on the very front of this offer, they offer you something else. They give you other information that you can give regarding this payment. And you may and you could do that. Or they'll do exactly what they'll say they'll do here and in the agreement. Do y'all got any questions? Anything to add on? Anything to say? What's up, AB?
Not right now. I'm following. I do like that you're being very specific in relaying it to the account because it's about servicing the account.
Period. But most importantly, before this, they talked about in that agreement so many things that you could be dissatisfied with when it comes to dealing with a card. So pay attention to stuff like that. Don't put credit and card together.
So I guess I want to explain how I'm feeling. Okay. I'm feeling as if I just heard you telling a story and I kept thinking to myself, I got to go back to the agreement, and I'm thinking through the parts that were on the agreement, and in my mind is connecting what was on the agreement to what you just said.
It always needs to, because it'll help connect this other party and what this other party said that they'll do if you was dissatisfied, and only if you is dissatisfied, nobody else. So the person who you gave your rights to in the beginning with this credit card agreement that we've been reading in school, they hang you up and putting you on notice and letting you know that there may be a problem.
It's like what's trying to click for me is I'm going to have to use my words because I'm the individual. I'm the one that can speak in the relationship, and I need to use my words to using the facts to state the point that there is an issue there. So there is an error there, and I need to explain to them, hey, this is why there's an error there.
So a good exercise to do will be to come and look at and read something like this that is on the back of a product of theirs. And anywhere you see type is like a little search box somewhere. I'm not really good with like the computer and stuff like this, but normally it's like a little search box where you can type in words and put in the word the. So you'll see things like the purchase, You'll see, anywhere where the goods, everything that will be pertaining to what you should be concerned with and your rights. That way you kind of stay focused. The amount. Go back to the agreement. You should most definitely go back to the agreement because we're not finishing the agreement. The agreement is not finished. So go back to the agreement and type in the word the. Wherever you get after the word the, you should be comparing it to this product so that you can stick to the facts because it must be true or whatever you're saying must be true in order for them to use the right to use this document and any other rights you see in that agreement. So that's just something. Look, the merchant. It'll help you just to connect certain things that must be connected if you want to have good faith. Good faith is defined in the UCC in 3 different sections with 3 different persons who will have rights. How y'all feeling? What's up, Skool? How you feel, Kat? Y'all know you still got the floor, but I just wanted to open up everybody else too. How you feeling?
That makes sense. I feel like that'll start to make things click even more for me and make me, I guess I feel uncomfortable because this is new. I do believe in the system of how I'm seeing that things are done. It needs to be done that way. But yeah, I'm just a little uncomfortable in like trying to express it. It's like in my mind it starts to fire and I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, so this is, but I like what you said. I think that'll be definitely helpful for
Yeah,
sure.
because if you just look at this, they said the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express. The same rules apply to the disputed amount, which is the same amount that they're talking about up there above. The purchase. They're telling you the criteria for that purchase. Is everything that need to be above. So yeah, you definitely should do that. It'll help you work with the merchant, with the good and good faith that you have that should be serviced by the merchant. But they advertising it to you. It's a note. Somebody said letter of credit. Okay, but you have a note that someone who may have that letter of credit is writing to you, telling you that it's a problem. And it may be necessary and connected to the purchases that you made and, things that they advertised and mailed to you, something that was already sold. Something else just needs to go along with it. It needs to be serviced one more time by that other party. So if you get it and you mailed it and it's something that they gave to you, then it's something that, can be used if it's priced. The purchase price, Kat, is missing. The person who you got that credit card agreement with got a problem with it. You must have used your credit card for the purchase. The only way you're going to receive something like this is if you use that plastic credit card. The only way they're going to be satisfied with a credit card purchase is if they use the card that's attached to this, which is the very first thing the Navy Federal put at the top of their page. Talking about the Navy Federal More Express card and Navy Federal Credit Union. What they would do with what you have is payable to Navy Federal. But you got it. And the credit card agreement told us why we had it. And right here, they're just putting more emphasis on the rights to us having it and the rights that they got to make us pay for it if we don't follow the rules. Or if we don't use our rights or the account. And particularly for purchases that's made with cash advances from a teller, an automated teller machine that let us know in agreement that we got this notice, which is what they described this as their property. This notice is concerning an automated teller machine that they got. They told us that in the agreement. So if that's true, then that means what you have can access a check that access a credit card account. If what you have isn't able to be used as a check to access a credit card account, what you have don't qualify just yet, and you should be dissatisfied with the card. It's because the amount ain't set. or because the purchase price isn't there because of the merchant. The merchant didn't set it. And you must not yet have fully paid for the purchase. If you walk to your mailbox and you took this, you purchased this. This is where Article 1 comes heavy into play because what they are initiating with you is a transaction. Whatever they do, you can do too. So they hope that you initiate a transaction with the exact same thing because it has not yet qualified for the ATM machine that they have, or it has not yet been utilized so that they access a credit card account. If ever it do be used for that, then that means that another transaction has to take place. And this is where understanding the UCC comes into play because they define purchase. Do anybody know and want to tell people what purchase is?
To take, buy, sell.
Lease.
Yeah.
Give us some more. Come on. Pledge. Mortgage. The biggest one of them all, they talked about this in the agreement with them when they let us know how and why they would promise to pay. Anybody. It's conspicuous in there. Lien. Yeah. Security interest. Don't forget about that. That initial transaction is something that you gave to them, which is why, for the purpose of that section that we read in agreement and you getting this payment, they are promised to pay. So when you see the word purchase, it means to take by sale, lease, mortgage, discount, negotiation, pledge, lien, security interest, issue, reissue, gift, to voluntarily enter into another transaction and set a present value, which will be the purchase price. They'll consider the amount. They got a problem with the amount because it ain't set. So because of that, they gave you public notice, hoping that you can give them other very important information about this account and the Navy Federal Rewards American Express card. The only place you can get that from is here and in the agreement. They are letting you know that you must read that agreement because they took this section from the agreement, letting you know that it is related. In the credit card agreement that you have, it'll allow you access to a credit card account if you use this agreement and the disclosure that is attached to it. The agreement that you have with them is that you will use it, and for as long as you use it, they will pay. Do y'all got any questions, any thoughts, anything to add to that?
Kamaya, I can see myself being totally present, right? And so my understanding is the bank doesn't infringe upon the rights of their customer to deal with the public, right? So they don't put the price initially. So that gives us the opportunity to give them that commitment notice. Let them know that we have noticed the issue. Like I said, I'm all the way into it, like getting it back to him, getting that the notice back to him.
So the UCC let you know that means you have to transact. As an individual, you have to understand that there is something has to come to your attention, like you reading this or you reading agreement. Something has to come to your attention where you understand that a person in the organization could enter into another transaction and they're missing some information that is potentially affecting the organization. You are responsible for that because you are the one who's in between these two parties. So they let you know that it's a transaction. It's a transaction using the account and adding more information, additional terms and conditions, more applying for things. For them, from the agreement that we read, we know that they're going to get along. How you feel, AB? What's up?
I'm following. I think The biggest thing that you just said was how this is the disclosure as far as it being the statement. I didn't even tie that into that until just right now, which is surprising for me. But that just made a whole lot more just click for me overall.
So go back and read the agreement. Yes, that means you have to start all over. For anybody who's listening and just understood the exact same thing that she understood, you have to go back now and reread the entire agreement when they started off telling you your agreement with us, because your perspective in your eyes is going to be from a different review now. That means that everything that you previously thought you knew is going to change. It's going to be better, but it's going to be changed. It's going to be based on what you thought you knew up until the point where you just found out that you have a very important disclosure for another party so that they can make their claim. Do y'all hear me? Do y'all understand that first review we had of the credit card agreement, y'all need to go back to so that y'all can understand Navy Federal's rights under this agreement, which is what we're reading. An agreement for Navy Federal, something that's already payable to them, which we knew that from the agreement. It's a correspondence. So y'all gotta go back and read that so that y'all can really, really, truly, truly, truly understand this agreement and can connect this agreement to that credit card agreement so that you can allow another person access to a credit card account. And the credit card account that you want to allow that person access to is this card right here, the CAT Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card. If all the criteria above are met and you are still dissatisfied with the purchase, contact us in writing or electronically at the exact same address where it should go. So when all of the criteria is met, the exact same address where it should go, who put all of those restrictive endorsements that they talked about last time on there, it's going to go back to them. And then they're going to do things in a different way. They're going to transact with the exact same thing that you have, but they're going to transact with the electronic form. They're going to do that if you are dissatisfied with the purchase, the one that you have, because the criteria is above wasn't met. You may also contact us electronically through the online app. You can contact them. You want to talk to Navy Federal? Yes, you will be using Navy Federal Credit Union because that's who should be dealing with the Navy Federal More Reward American Express card with Navy Federal, but they're not. They're dealing with you. So you can contact them while using or going through their app, but you will be utilizing Navy Federal's messaging system. While we investigate, the same rules apply to the disputed amount, which when you get this is when you begin to realize that there is not an amount enclosed. It is a disputed amount. Two parties is fighting over the amount. Somebody claims it's the New Balance, but you know from reading the agreement that they gonna add something every single day, so it is not this amount. Somebody has a claim to that, and somebody has a defense to that. You in the middle. While we investigate, the same rules apply to the disputed amount as discussed above. After we finish our investigation, we will tell you our decision. So if you decide to take this, like we're going to discuss the math, and you utilize this math section, this payment information section, if you decide to use that because they let you know you have the right and you may and you can do that, if you decide to use that and that area, the potential builder or lender isn't available, then they're going to be writing you to let you know that, hey, it's not happening. If the amount is okay for them during their investigation, then they'll go ahead and keep it. And they'll let you know that they use the account by updating your account. We will tell you our decision. When they send you this document right here, they made a decision. They made a decision for you and for that other party. And that caused some problems. It caused some errors. And it also opened up the window for potential as well. It gave you the opportunity to make the choice. the choice to pay, or the choice to literally follow the rules and question the charges. If you don't have nothing to say, then so be it. Whatever it is that they imply right here, whatever it is that they issued to you pursuant to whatever license they had, so it would be, and you'll pay for it. But if you have something to say about it, or if you have an amount that you can enclose from whatever investigation you did on your own, then you may do that as well. This gives you the opportunity to do whatever it is that you see fit because you have it in your possession, but it does not belong to you. At that point, if we think you owe an amount and you do not pay, we may report you as delinquent. So right now, the decision that they made on their own is that you delinquent. This is them warranting you to that default setting that's in that agreement. So that whatever amount you owe, which we know is the maximum amount that you owe, which is a new credit limit, that point can finally come. This is at the point of sale, them utilizing what they advertise to you and actually servicing it. They're utilizing their own stuff. They're not going to use the one they mail to you. They have an electronic copy. The Navy Federal Reward American Express card that we're going to get to right here on the front of this that they sent to you, this agreement disclosure from the contract that you already have with another person. The card is issued and it's administered by Navy Federal's Credit Union. American Express is a federally registered service mark of American Express and is used by the issuer pursuant to a license that American Express has. So American Express is doing business with Navy Federal and Navy Federal's Credit Union. American Express is a payment network. They talked about American Express in the agreement where they was comparing American Express, Discover, or Visa, MasterCard, all of those good people. Do y'all remember that in the agreement? We was there.
Yes.
So this is them tying this part to the agreement, and they don't investigate what that credit card agreement said versus what this is saying, and whatever is missing between this and that, they'll add to it so that everybody is satisfied.
Hey, Kamaya, just for clarity, could I ask a question really quick? This is Corey.
Hey, Corey.
Hey, how's it going? So is this, as I'm looking at these billing rights, or these rights, if we are dissatisfied with the credit card purchases, this is where it's tying in to the FCBA?
Yes, this is where they are able to act as an individual. This is where their responsibilities come in. So what they're expressing to you here is responsibilities that they actually have to work under the FCBA, where it will cause an increase.
Right. Okay,
okay,
great. That's good. That's great clarity. Thank you.
You're welcome. So now that I gave my opinion on this and we got that out the way and finished up that credit card agreement that had this very exact clause, now we're getting the actual product and we can actually look at it now and see what the front of it has to say. And then we'll go back to the back of it to finish up where they give us information about the card that we're about to read and see what they got to say about. And we should see in connection to and related to some mistakes on that's related to this and the things that they already talked about that they're already concerned about. They already have a problem with. And it's really not with you, but it could be. It's down to your belief. What you believe about it. Whatever you believe about it, which is the American Express reward card that we're about to look at, they'll investigate. They'll check into it. And they'll see if what you believe is enough for a description or anything to be described on your statement. They'll have to use the account though. So they need other very important information, which is something that they highlighted in the very beginning of Navy Federal's agreement or Navy Federal Credit Union's agreement. So how y'all feeling? Y'all ready to now look at this product that we received from that credit card agreement? How y'all feeling? What's y'all thoughts? We can discuss. We can talk about it. What's up, Skool? Hey, Kat. What's up? What's y'all thoughts?
Hey, so this is Corey again. So I would like to take a stab at this just because like I've been rolling this over my head for like 3 months. So in regards to the FCBA, and in the agreement, I'm looking at kind of both through different eyes. But in the agreement, it has a section that always stood out to me: how to avoid paying interest. And that seems like it seems like they're inviting you, enticing you to default right there
No,
by
they're really telling you that they defaulted. They
right.
avoided
That's why it's so confusing. Right. That's why it's so confusing. And so I mean, I want to be present and listen to you elaborate on that. But
So be present
that's
with, before you continue, listen, be
sure.
present with understanding that the they is two different parties. One
Right,
party charged interest and one party avoided it. And they're telling you all about how that party avoided interest.
right.
Okay.
Okay. And then just to wrap that, because the interest was avoided, that's why there is a that seems to be why there is a discrepancy, why
Yeah,
we're
why
dissatisfied.
there's a problem. Why
All
there's
righty. Okay,
that
I'm gonna be quiet.
party. No, you're good. The other party hasn't had the opportunity to utilize this.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
They need to. So they give you a couple of fine print things on this, like please indicate change of address on the reverse. And then on the reverse side, for whoever that party may be who's indicating that they are the one who is addressing whatever problem or whatever issue it is, like the person who it should go to, then they have this part. It's on the back of it. Then they have more fine print where they're letting you know to make a check payable and mail it to Navy Federal. A lot of people want to find this magical address for them, but they're giving you the address and they mean it. It is in fine print. Whatever you deal with that is involving Navy Federal Credit Union that's for Navy Federal must be payable to them and it must be mailed to them. They're going to be the ones to indicate the change. They're going to indicate the change to address it to who it should be addressed to, which is their neighbor right next door at 3501. Which is the address that they have right here where they send billing inquiries to, which is something that is on the part where they give you other important information about the Navy Federal Remote Reward Card. So that fine print is important. Understanding and looking at who has the rights reserve is important so that you can understand the things that you actually dealing with. All of these different persons understanding is important. You have Navy Federal Credit Union, and then you got Navy Federal, and then you got you who is addressed, all dealing with the exact same card. Now there is another card that everybody is not dealing with, and only you dealing with. So that's why you're receiving this to show you all of the purchases that was made, all of the cost and fees that was added to another card, a card that the other party could actually use if they just add a little bit more interest to it. Somebody deal with this card and this document based on 25 days, and someone else has the opportunity to complete those days on interest. So by the time you actually get this, more interest is actually there, could be applied so that the price can be set. Once that price is set, then that's when the promise to pay section of that agreement can kick in, because they can actually promise to pay the price. They know the true value. They know the actual value, because this won't be it. So you have to understand who's being addressed, who's being, who's dealing with the same thing at this time. And this time, you dealing with something that belongs to Navy Federal, because they have business with Navy Federal Credit Union and American Express. So they're letting you know that this card is very important, because this card, just like the credit card agreement told us, will allow them access to a credit card account. And for as long as that price is set, then they'll be able to utilize this and make deposits into that account.
Maya, really quick, I had a question as well. In the agreement, they oftentimes they will say credit card. Other times they will say account. Other times they will say credit card account. It's just so much to keep up with.
So you want to pay attention to that, and you do want to look at that. You want to pay attention when they're talking to or about the card. Then you want to pay attention when they're talking about the card account. So you should definitely pay attention to that, because this account is attached to another account that they're able to use. So you need to pay attention to that, because they are talking about different things, and it's very important that you do not run credit card together. Don't run it together.
Yep.
You have this card is about credit, and somebody will service it for as long as this good. It's given to who it should be. It's Navy Federal. But you are a member of the credit union, so you're in the business at one point. And that's why you have the copy of that credit card agreement. The one that, we've been reading. How y'all feeling?
Hey, Kamaya.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I kind of listen. You don't understand. I have so much in my head, like that. I for real, like, because when I listened to myself earlier talking, say, "Damn, man, it just sound like I'm all over the place," because I got so much in my head, right? And it's like in my mind, I know the whole play from what you have taught. I know the whole play. It's just I'm trying to. I didn't miss the whole damn most of this session, right? I just got in, so I didn't really know like where to start. You know what I'm saying? But like with because I've already submitted electronically, right? My item. You know what I'm saying? And on some deposit situation. You dig? So I'm just trying to like I don't know. I'm trying to get it because yeah, I'm in a tight position, but yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to, but I do know that Navy Federal is who we dealing with. That's on the public side. But on the private side, they got a bank. You know what I'm saying? And our remittances should be going through that bank to go through their processing systems. You know what I'm saying? And due to
American Express, Visa, or who else they saying there's MasterCard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as that amount in closed box is blank, then it can't be utilized by the other bank. Therefore, we will be an injured party because they would be an injured party. You know what I'm saying?
But you're gonna pay for it.
Absolutely. Yeah. It hurts our pockets every time.
So that means that what we went over previously, when we were talking about those billing rights and an agreement, you have to understand so that you can help give the person who hurt into a claim to make. Because you can't make it. You have to talk to them about it. You have to have questions about it. You ain't got no questions about it. You know so much, but you can't come up with some questions about it so that they can actually set that price. Then I understand exactly what you're saying. I do. There's some things you got to keep in mind. You're talking about an account, and you're talking about a card. You need to have some questions about it, and it's surrounding some information. And in that credit card agreement and within this disclosure, they give you information that's related so that you can utilize this card with the credit card account, so that they can service it. I know you said you started late, but we just read the back of it where they talked about your billing rights, and if you was dissatisfied and things like that, how you can work with a merchant with the good that you have, and they'll service it. But if you don't have no questions, if you don't have nothing you can express about it, if you can read any other information at all, if you don't even have the payment, like it's nothing you can really say to them because you don't know what to say to them.
I know that's not a holder, right? I can't be a holder. They're the holder. I let them know that.
You can't be in their business at all.
Oh, for sure. Well, I let them know. Look, I told them I was giving it back to them. I'm, releasing it and transferring it. I'm a non-holder,
Yeah, you should have said that. You should have said something like surrender. You must have knowledge of the UCC, or you should never pick up that phone because you will lose rights. You could talk around it all day long, but they will not acknowledge or help you if you do not speak properly and talk about what was received and what was not. And the only way you can know that is if you read the information and the agreement that they gave you about it so that more account activity can be added. They're talking about the summary here, and then on the back, we just read a whole bill and rights summary that was referring to account activity and reward points, which really equivalent for them fees. You have to make the connection with what really is Not what will be in the future, not what happened in the past, but what is the information that is given, what was provided, what was received. And whatever will happen with that information, if you handle these documents properly when you get them, it will happen. It's not going to happen a moment before. Everything happens after. So if you can't give more information for them to add to, so things can't happen after, look how many times they say information. Just like how I told Kat, another good thing to do, go to that agreement that we've been reading in school and type in information and see how many spots. If y'all on your phone, y'all can go here and type in information and see how many spots. Information. All I care about is the information. You should have questions about it. So anywhere you see information, write down information that they gave you after you see that word information, and write it down, and then write down some potential questions to it, and come compare it to this to see where they also said information, and see what information you actually need versus the information that they gave. Because the words that you see is what mean the most, literally. Like how me and Corey was discussing, credit card, those words mean the most. Those words need to be defined. Here we go with purchase again. That's something that need to be defined. Account again. There's plenty of accounts. How y'all feeling?
So if we pay cash, I mean, we really do become the holder.
Yeah.
Like finalized.
Yeah. And Article 1 let you know that you do not want to be a holder. I don't know how familiar you are with Article 1, but they actually define the term holder. And that's why they begin to let you know that holder title ain't really for you. It's for somebody who will have a document of title, or for somebody who will have a bill of lading. You out of that business. But you do have something that you can transact with. So that's what makes you be in connection to and related to another. Not to mention that credit card agreement that we read, because you're using a plastic card. This card allows for them to go beyond the scope of just that plastic card that actually you are the holder of, but utilize this one, something that they should be the holder of, which they are really still the holder of it, regardless if you got this copy or not, because they have an electronic copy that's different than this one. So they get the option to choose. They'll make the decision. They told us that on the back, so I know you came in late, but they'll make the decision. They can use this and collect this amount from you, or they can make the decision if you choose to use the other information, they'll use an electronic one. They'll accept digital things, even numbers. So attached to that card is a statement of the account. This is a statement of an account.